They thought he was lying. Some thought he'd finally lost his mind. The enemy was laughing, confident, almost relaxed, because winter had arrived early that year, and winter was supposed to do what bullets couldn't: end the war. December 1944. Europe was frozen solid. Snow buried roads, rivers iced over, engines failed, rifles jammed. Men slept inside holes carved from frozen dirt, praying they wouldn't wake up dead. That's when the enemy made their move. A massive surprise attack. Tens of thousands of troops, hundreds of tanks, rolling straight through terrain everyone believed was impossible to cross in winter. Forests, hills, narrow roads. The plan was bold, desperate, risky. But if it worked, it would change everything. Split the Allied armies in half, capture key supply routes, force a peace deal. And for the first time in years, it actually worked. American lines collapsed. Units were surrounded. Radios went silent. Entire regiments disappeared into the snow. Headquarters panicked. Maps filled with red arrows pushing west, and one terrifying question echoed through command rooms: what if we can't stop this? That question brought the Allied commanders together in an emergency meeting. The room was tense. Everyone talked at once. They needed time. They needed reinforcements. They needed a miracle. That's when George S. Patton spoke. Patton wasn't like the others. He didn't look calm. He looked dangerous. Hard eyes, sharp voice, absolute confidence. While everyone else was still processing the disaster, Patton already had a plan. Actually, he'd planned for this weeks ago. Because Patton didn't believe in reacting. He believed in anticipating chaos. When he was asked how long it would take to turn his entire army north through frozen roads, enemy contact, and brutal weather, he didn't blink. 3 days. The room went silent. 3 days. Moving an entire army takes weeks. Doing it in winter? Almost impossible. Doing it while fighting? Insane. Some thought he was bluffing. Some thought he was reckless. Patton didn't care. He knew something they didn't. Patton believed momentum was everything. He believed the enemy was never as strong as they looked, and fear only won when you hesitated. The enemy's plan depended on speed, fuel, timing, perfect execution. Delay them, and the whole thing collapses. So Patton decided to hit them where they didn't expect it. Hard, fast, relentless. The moment Patton left the meeting, he activated a code word. One word. That was it. And the Third Army moved. What followed became one of the greatest logistical feats in military history. Entire divisions pivoted 90 degrees overnight. Convoys rolled non-stop through blizzards. Drivers stayed awake for days straight. Engines had to be restarted every 30 minutes so oil wouldn't freeze. Weapons were cleaned constantly to keep them firing. Many soldiers didn't even have proper winter gear. Cotton jackets, wool coats, frozen boots. But morale? Sky high. Because Patton was out there with them. While other commanders stayed warm, Patton rode in an open jeep. No roof, no heater. Snow hit his face. Ice formed on his helmet. He wanted soldiers to see him, and they did. Word spread fast. The old man's out here. He's freezing just like us. He believes we can win this. That mattered, because winter wasn't just killing bodies, it was killing hope. The enemy never believed this could happen. They'd fought winters before. They assumed cold would paralyze the Americans. Big mistake. They underestimated one thing: leadership. When Patton's attack finally came, it hit like a freight train. Tanks smashed through snow-covered fields. Infantry followed, pushing forward no matter the cost. The enemy was caught completely off guard. They expected defense. They got offense. One town became the symbol of everything. Surrounded, cut off, outnumbered. When the enemy demanded surrender, the American commander replied with one word: nuts.
That message traveled like wildfire. It wasn't just defiance, it was a statement. We're not done. Patton pushed harder. He demanded constant pressure, no pauses, no hesitation, attack during snowstorms, attack at night, attack when logic says stop, because logic was predictable, aggression wasn't. Then something incredible happened. The weather changed. Clouds broke, skies cleared, American aircraft filled the air, bombers, fighters, thunder. Enemy supply lines were shredded, tanks burned, fuel vanished. What was supposed to be a clean breakthrough turned into a nightmare. By Christmas, the enemy was bleeding. By New Year's, they were breaking. The frozen forests became graveyards of steel, burned tanks, abandoned guns, men too exhausted to run. Winter had turned on them. Patton didn't stop. He never stopped. While others talked about relief, he talked about destruction. He wanted the enemy crushed, not pushed back. And slowly the pressure worked. 2 Allied forces closed in from opposite sides. The bulge collapsed. The gamble failed. By mid-January, it was over. The enemy had lost tens of thousands of men, hundreds of tanks, their final reserves. They would never recover. That winter offensive, meant to save their war, destroyed it instead. Historians later said the battle proved something important, that American forces weren't just rich in equipment, they were rich in grit. And when led by commanders who believed in speed, confidence, and relentless pressure, they could fight anywhere, anytime, against anyone. Patton later wrote that destiny had called him when things were darkest. Maybe it did, or maybe he was simply ready. Because when winter tried to win the war, one American general proved that mindset beats weather, and impossible is just a word until someone decides it isn't.